burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs. When every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit, but not a single fuck left to give. I could explode, I feel like gasoline when you're mad at me. Lit a match in the wind, so I'm asking please. I try to cope, go through the motions, no, I got a noose around my throat. Fuck, I love you, but I know that I should let you go. Situations got me pressed in, I'm on overload. I'm on overload, so another of your cigarettes out. Fuck, I always feel so burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs. When every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit. Put your lips on me, yeah, I crave the attention. Lost on you, different dimensions, take me away. So fuck a conversation, bite my lips so I can taste your affection. Caught on you, tunnel vision, I can't see anybody else but you. But you, anybody else but you. Fuck a conversation, rather get lost in the inspiration.
Everybody, welcome to the SDL Scouting Grounds for the start of Season 3. Got me, ZTantalus, here on the desk, going to be joined by KingFsher, the KingFsher.
Thank you for that awesome introduction. He's exactly right. Start of Scouting Grounds for Season 3 here at the SDL. Been about a month off, a month of anticipation for hopefully a lot of you. But it feels good to be back, and we got some immortal ones coming up today. But before we get into the players, the picks, everything that's going to be going on, let's talk about changes in Smite. This new patch, it's going to be a big one that really shakes up the meta.
Yeah, it's big, it's significant. There are a lot of shifts to the way that several of the roles are being played. You know, jungle's looking at a big shift here. The solo meta is changing a bit. The way that tanks are being played, the way that they're being built, it's all getting shaken up.
It is. Saw a big 30% nerf to damage across the board, another 15 to defense. So in my mind, it kind of tells me just inherently, tank should be huge this patch. I'm expecting a lot of warrior solos, expecting him to play really, really well. Maybe picks we haven't seen in a while, the aggressive ones like Surtur, the King Arthur. Things we kind of think about as lane bullies might be making a little bit of a resurgence this season. Have to wait and see. And talking about resurgence, we still got new game mechanics too. We got soul searches, titans marching down the lanes. There's a lot of new stuff in this season. I'm really excited to see how these teams are going to play around it. This is the first competition we've had on this new patch.
Yeah, the new mechanics are pretty cool from what I'm seeing so far. You know, the soul surges, they give you a movement speed buff. They spawn some minions in, so you can get some golden XP if you're paying attention to that. Uh, your Stygian beacon, that one's spawning at 12 minutes in now. You get a warning 2 minutes before it goes off, and that has resulted in huge fights every time I've seen it spawn. Everybody wants that attack damage to towers buff.
It's a big one. It's an important one. If ever you thought Smite didn't have enough action, it certainly does now. Yeah, the beacons are huge. 5% damage buff to structures, and of course, the Titans when they're marching out. It's really, really important to have, and when those Titans do get out of base at around. We've seen it anywhere from like 25 to 30 minutes. That is when the tide of the game can absolutely change. Teams get a really good opportunity to push. They get out of base and they got a huge, really, really hard to kill target just marching down the lane with them. It's a perfect siege mechanic. And because of that, how it kind of opens up the map a little bit later in that late game to just absolutely take a team fight and march it down. Do you expect we'd see anything more like some double ADC comps like we've seen in years past, just whenever structure damage has been a really big thing in the meta?
I think the double ADC comp is definitely a viable route. So far, most of what I've seen have been fairly traditional team comps. Honestly, the biggest shift that I've seen has been in jungles. It's going way heavier, or at least seems to be towards like bruiser jungles. You're seeing a lot of Ravana's, Ratatasker, Circuit. You know, a couple of guys that we haven't seen in a while. They reverted the Ravana shield on the passive back to its previous amount, and as you could expect, Ravana is going ham.
Love to see some Ravana today. Always an interesting pick to watch in the jungle. But the first band gonna go over to solo lane, one of the few warriors that I think was actually buffed in the last patch. Quite a few got taken down, like Tyr and Vamana, but Achilles had his execute buffed up, but gonna be taken off the board, followed by Thor as well. And one pick it feels like is gonna be on everybody's minds this patch is Erlong Shen. I want to know what you think about that god.
I haven't gotten a chance to try him. You know, with the way that things have changed, I have to imagine he's good. He has to feel good. The god itself has always had a good kit. He just hasn't been in a great spot recently because of some of the items. I I'm super excited for it.
Gonna be entertaining. I've seen it once on this new patch, and I think they had 11 kills in, no joke, probably 15 minutes. So hard to imagine either of these teams would stray away from it here. Got a couple of Hunter bands to round it out. The Martigarus and the Hachimon. Hachi also saw a small nerf to that Eagle Eye, but I guess it's still pretty good in the meta as I think it's ban worthy. And coming up first on the board, are there any kind of roles? You talked a lot about seeing the jungles change. Do you think there are any big jungle gods that we're going to see these teams really prioritize in that first pick slot?
Um, you know, Sir is still definitely high prioritization. You know, Ratatasker, Set is even I've been seeing in a few games here recently. A lot of them seem to be playable. What we're seeing right now is a Zongque.
Little interesting to me. It looks like it's going to go into the mid lane as well. Not a god I'm too used to seeing out of there. We normally see Jonquils in the solo lane instead, but interested to see what they're going to be able to do from the mid lane. Obviously, with that damage nerf, new things are going to be getting built. It's going to be a lot of meta shifts, I'd assume. It'll be really interesting to see how those favor Jonquil, and one of the gods that got a small nerf. It's going to be a Tyr for King of Darkness and an X-Ball for Rushology. That's going to be a really interesting duo lane to watch.
Absolutely. Tier, you know, you've seen in the SPL Tier going into the support role over the solo. I don't know that I agree with it in the state he's in now. You know, I feel like he's a much stronger solo laner, but he does give the displacement. He's got the CC, the peel. You know, wait and see.
Gonna have to keep an eye on it. And LUCENTCOLORS locking in the Terra. Yamosha wasn't banned out, did see a small nerf to the movement speed inside of that Riptide. And one of the two ADCs we haven't gotten a chance to talk about. On her saw pretty big buffs on the slow and just base attack speed. Apollo also got a really nice set of buffs on his movement speed. Excited to see what LuneyToons is going to be able to do. And the global ult, we talk about it a lot whenever a pick like an Apollo or a Giannis or a Red Tusk or something like that is locked in. The ability to get around the map quick really just can't be overvalued, it feels like, in Smite.
Yeah, it can straight up bring you into fights that you would have otherwise been completely incapable of getting into. It can cause the opposing team to be outnumbered. You can gain pressure over objectives, points. It's a great ability to have.
It is. I expect to see a lot of it around those Stygian beacons. It seems like there's been a lot of big team fights around those, but we don't see a ton of just full 5-man rotations onto them. So maybe that's going to change with LuneyToons locking in that Apollo. We've already talked about junglers, the Erlong Shen, the Bakasura get banned out, and the Kali. A god I haven't seen banned in a really long time, probably back when she was meta, nearly it feels like 6 months ago.
I think she's still very good. The next band that went up there is Fenrir. Kali is just, she's kind of always good. Once she hits that late game, she's a terror. Fenrir, we're in a bruiser meta right now as far as the jungle solo are concerned. Fenrir's great. The Bakasura, the Erlong, still very good. So, pretty good bands all around.
Like seeing them for sure. Probably a smart ban onto that Kali as well. Neither of those ADCs for the, I believe it's Toaster Strudels on the order side, really have a ton to get themselves out of danger. Whenever that Kali would have leapt in, they would have been in a world of hurt. Not a ton of CC immunity either outside that Apollo ultimate yet. So probably a good ban. They still need a mid and a jungler. Given that they didn't select a jungler in round 1, when those high tier picks were available, do you think they're going to save it for last to kind of counterpick?
It's definitely a possibility. Order side here, they're going to have to take 2 gods with the pick anyway, so they're not going to quite get the last pick, but it definitely does save you a lot of trouble getting counterpicked to hold the jungle pick like that. Now we see an Arthur.
Wouldn't expect anything less than a King Arthur Cocolan solo lane. That'll be one to keep an eye on. 2 very, very aggressive picks. King Arthur feels like we haven't seen in a while. Talk about new junglers. It's going to be the Ratatasker in the jungle. Didn't see a ton of changes this patch, but do you think they're going to be able to keep up with that lineup on the other side?
I think so. Rat didn't get any specific changes, but the way that the damage has changed, the way the itemization has changed is very much in his favor.
Going to be looking for a big performance from the smallest character in the game and round it all out. A Poseidon in the jungle. I mean, I know you talked about seeing bruiser junglers a lot, and we haven't really seen a ton of magical junglers in this new season. Haven't seen a ton of Hebo or Akwang, which I think are the ones that kind of traditionally go there. Do you think Poseidon is still a good pick in the jungle, or are you kind of more in the favor of assassins?
I don't think he is a good pick in the jungle. I do think he is a good pick in the jungle here. Ratatasker relies on a dash. Most of Arthur's kit relies on it. Terra relies on it to get in and out. That cripple can be huge if he's getting it off right.
The Kraken should go massive in these team fights as well. The one thing that team was kind of lacking, outside of the tier, they don't have a bunch of big CC options. Obviously, Cocolan in the Rage form has a pretty solid amount, but that's really relying on physics to get in there and do the dirty work. So I like seeing some more just kind of not easy to confirm CC, but big CC that your team can play off of, especially into something like that Zhang Kui. Not the most mobile mid laner in the world. If I'm Fuego, I'd be looking to rotate into that mid lane early and often.
Yeah, I might have to disagree with you, Fish. The Zhang Kui got a massive buff to those protections. That's going to be a hard man to kill.
Gonna be hard to kill. Maybe we're gonna see if they're able to shut him down, lock him down, whatever they have to do. That's gonna do it for us here on the desk. Let's throw it right into game with Gearchief and Akamaru.
Hello and welcome to our Scouting Grounds SDL. I'm Gear here, new casters who this, and with me I got your fellow Loki mid degenerate Akamaru, or as I like to call him, Ken. Ken, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I love how you keep bringing it up every time. It's got to be the standard now. I'm the Loki mid guy. It happened once for context in season 2 of Scouting Grounds, and I haven't lived it down since. Gear hates me.
It was something to see. I'll give you that. But for these picks and bans, I gotta say, with the solo lane, I'm kind of excited to see because it's gonna be all aggression with both KA and Kakulin. They both have 2 different kits, so I'm excited to see how they use that. But all in all, you're seeing these teams. What do you see? Who do you want to see really push early? Do you want to see one team be reserved? What are we looking for as we're coming into this?
Starting with the order side over here, Toaster Strudels. By the way, great name. We see a lot of really great team fight presence coming from this team. We have that ultimate from Terra, and through the Cosmos from the Ratatosker, creating a lot of space for these guys. Solo kill in mid though. Okay.
Solo kill in mid. We got Zhang Kui getting that really quick kill. KillCamKenny. That's gonna be so much fun. Killing FuegoMyEggo, kind of keeping it with this breakfast foods thing. But we got a nice first blood kill for Zhang Kui to really start this game off.
That never happens in these kinds of matches. There's so rare you see a kill in mid lane, especially from this last meta where it was so hard to gank over there. Seeing that come out, but that's really what you want to see because you're drafting that Ratatosker as I was talking about. That character is a feast or a famine in early game. And through a lot of these previous metas, Ratatosker hasn't really been a huge presence in there, just because he's not that much value when the games go so late as it has been over there. There's a lot of action.
We got a wall coming out. Rushology barely manages to get out with beads from a nice collapsing wall from Terra. And KillCamKenny gets another kill with the Devour Souls and a little DOT on that scroll. And he's just really pushing this mid lane down, taking advantage of that early kill.
KillCamKenny is running this mid lane, and that is everything that you want from your Zhang Kui. This guy scales so hard, and with the meta favoring those early builds, tier 2 items being so much more powerful in relation to how they were earlier in the season, you're gonna see characters like this really sprout up and take some huge power spikes. Zhang Kui, when he hits that late game, it's always been that way. He becomes nigh unstoppable. And seeing this with 2 kills and 1k gold league coming in here, 1.2k about, this guy is going to be real scary going into this mid game here.
And one thing I spotted, little I spy here, does that Ratatosker's name look kind of familiar to you? I don't know about me, but I think that's ZTantalus, and I've only known him really as a ADC and a pretty dominant mid, so it's going to be exciting to see if he can feast or famine on this Ratatosker he's got going on there. What's your prediction?
Right, the Ratatosker. I know it's a ZTantalus specialty. He is a Ratatosker.
Coming down through the Cosmos, lands a big ult, getting both King of Darkness and Rushology. That was, I don't know if that's Caster's Curse, just started talking about that, but that was perfect timing with a big impact.
The Ratatosker Slammer does the slamming. What else can I say? Here we see it. Some more fighting going over in the soul lane. But talking about this guy, every time I'm playing with him in casuals, he's got the Ratatosker on lock. He's got it in his back pocket. He loves playing it. He loves bringing it out. It just hasn't been a meta god for a bit here, but watching him bring it out here, I love it every time, man. He's in love with this kind of play style, and it's going to be a treat watching him play here. But just to clarify here for captains, ZTantalus is a caster, so he's the one player here who isn't on the list to be drafted, so maybe a little bit of less pressure. You're the guy who doesn't have the eyes on you for this set, so he's going to be vibing in here. The other players, of course, captains, keep your eyes on them. This is going to be their set to make sure that we see what happens for their season. And a solo kill or a gank for ZTantalus over here in the solo lane on the physics.
And now we got King of Darkness got caught out, put to sleep with the Mesmerized, barely to squeeze out as Rushology's getting damage on it. But Rushology's 2 levels down, and one of those is level 5 with his ultimate. It might not be much, but that Coming Darkness is a real game changer. FuegoMyEggo coming in with a Kraken Whirlpool. Looney's trying his best, mesmerizes to get out, trying to call his chariot, but just can't get out in time. FuegoMyEggo gets the kill. Lucent now stuck out. They don't know where to go. Dash is down, but we don't know if they have the cooldowns to really finish it. Whirlpool comes out, doesn't do enough damage, and Lucent manages to squeak themselves out just barely and not giving them another kill. Honey Buns, they managed to get their first kill of the game. Well, ZTantalus is now just, I thought he was invading, but he's just taking his little back camps here.
There's been so much going on, man. It feels like there's like not enough to talk or too much to talk about to really put the full picture. But Poseidon, super strong in here. I mean, the Whirlpool Cripple is gonna make so much happen for this guy, but ZTantalus making it happen over here in mid lane anyway.
Another through the cosmos lands on Huntor and manages to get a nice little acorn blast out to secure the damage. Now we really see that Toaster Strudels are up 6-1. And they're trying to get their advantage where they can. PhysicsDZN down a level from that gank, but still managing to exert pressure and let his presence be known. He's not letting that gank stop him.
These teams are reaching a point, right? Because Toaster Strudels has a comp that really excels in controlling space and making sure that their carries are slamming and controlling this the entire objectives area. And with so many objectives that really require you to take control and keep it for so long, Zhonghui and Terra on the same team, huge circles, huge damage coming out. When team fights come, those characters, you gotta keep your eyes on them, because if you can't control them, they're gonna run through your entire team. Fuego's got an idea with this Poseidon to make sure that you have the Cripple Field online. There isn't an in for the Ratatoskr and the Terra. But if you're looking at it now, ZTantalus has got this level lead, and it's gonna get worse before it gets any better. This Ratatoskr is at its strongest point in the game right now. He's gonna try to even it up soon, though.
Kraken comes out, misses, and the King Arthur barely gets away. Drops his ultimate, but we see MiniDelvin just able to squeak out, but we got a gank coming on this dual lane. Rushology caught out, uses beads after his dash, and just manages to get away. King of Darkness trying to exert some pressure mid lane, but just can't do it. And now seeing that this Tyr and Zhonghui are together, I'm starting to notice a bit of a pattern. We got KillCamKenny and LUCENTCOLORS, who both have passives or abilities that stop them from being knocked up, knocked back, whatsoever. We got a Fearless coming out. ZTan's coming in with Through the Cosmos, lands it. Beads stop the knockup. ZTantalus gets a confirmed kill on Huntor. King of Darkness barely squeaking away. I don't know if he's looking or what he's trying to get, but I don't think he's going to get much.
The apple barely tickled ZTantalus. He's walking away over half HP. He doesn't even care. This composition is so incredibly strong. I mean, Zhonghui, even if he's not late game, he's doing so much damage. Hunter just got obliterated over there. And as you were talking about, you mentioned a really great thing, and it came into effect that fight. These two characters not being able to be affected by knockups or knockbacks, the Kraken and Tyr's basically entire kit, they're not gonna work on this on the Zhonghui or the Terra when they're at their strongest point in the fight. Incredibly smart picks coming out here, because that just limits Honeybun's teamfight presence so much. They have to wait out those abilities, or they have to take picks before Toaster Strudels can really do anything. And so it's gonna be a big game of controlling those abilities, making sure that this bleed from the early game, they're 3k up on Toaster Strudel's side. They need to make sure that when teamfights do start coming up, that they have to play around those abilities and do what they can with the advantages that they do have. A lot of damage coming out from a double mage over here, and hopefully making sure that they can kill Toaster Strudels before Toaster Strudels really gets going on them.
I think the big thing is going to be, like you said, big circles, like this circle coming out from ZTantalus. Through the Cosmos, gets the knockup. Dash tries to come out, but it gets mesmerized before it can get its CC immunity, gets picked out. KillCamKenny manages to fall down to Huntor and King of Darkness. And these teams are just scrapping. Ultimate coming out from King Arthur, got Physics up in the air. Physics doesn't care. He's all hulked out. He gets the totem, but now he's stuck. Knockup comes out, stomp, stun in this tier 1 ultimate, but Physics runs away. Not really able to do much, health kind of low. We see a gank coming from FuegoMyEggo. Physics going in to draw it out. Oh, gets caught by the cripple and the Kraken! FuegoMyEggo secures the kill on King Arthur.
They
Beautiful play.
they just want to fight all over, man. They don't care. Cassius be damned. Fuego running his way over there, making sure the kill gets secured, and that's up for this whole like minute-long sequence of fights. KillCamKenny was huge in that mid lane, so that's a really big bonus coming down to the Honeybun side. You gotta imagine that they're feeling pretty good about that trade. Getting the kill onto Rushology feels pretty bad. There's not that much you can really do about the Apollo Mez. Looney was just waiting around there with it ready, waiting from the dash before the CC Muni comes up, and at that point, it's really just death at that point.
It was great use of CC from both teams. Looney managed to catch out the dash before it went to CC immune, and we got a cripple coming out to stop the Arthur from running before he could really get away from that Kraken. So both teams are really using their kits to the full advantage here. But like you said, with the kits, it's going to be up to King of Darkness to see if he can get his stuff out before Lucent or KillCamKenny can get their abilities out. And it's either, like you said, they're going to have to wait for it to be over, or you got to initiate and catch them when they're by surprise, when their pants are down. And that's going to be a big decider in here, this late game.
And if you take a look over at that mid lane, the levels are pretty much evened up at this point. That one kill, hugely impactful, a lot of time down for KillCamKenny. Really did a number to at least help to close that gap between the Discordia and the Zhonghui.
Oh, Kraken comes out. LuneyToons gets caught trying to take some buffs, but he manages to squeak away. King of Darkness uses his ultimate. Lawbringer coming out. ZTantalus gets the confirmed kill on FuegoMyEggo, who overextended. King of Darkness trying his best, goes for the heal slash, but doesn't connect with anything. Gets exercised. Consume demons. KillCamKenny gets a confirmed kill on King of Darkness, and a lot of cuz coming out. Just getting ridiculous for me.
Where did his health bar go? Fuego got dropped down and dashed on by ZTantalus, and he was gone.
Nah, it's gone.
In the middle of 3 people, sure, but I don't know. You're alive for maybe half a second, you get to see 3 of them, and then you're down in the death screen. It doesn't feel good. But this team, I mean, they're so far ahead at this point. When you're caught out, you're caught out. That's okay. They're gonna do a lot of burst damage. What you really have to do is manage those leads. Make sure that those impact fights aren't having the impact that they at least need to have to make sure the snowball's not out of control. And hey, the lead is about 3K approaching right now, 2.5 or 2.5 going towards it. So the fights. It's 10-3 right now, but the gold lead, at least, it's not a death sign just yet.
It definitely is not, but I think it's more gold you want to look at XP, because XP stops when you hit 20, but we got a Discordia Apple coming out and KillCamKenny, not doing too much. Lawbringer trying to get him back, and Dash comes in, but ZTantalus goes in, kills Huntor. Kraken comes out to try to stop ZTantalus through the Cosmos, gets him out. FuegoMyEggo trying to confirm it. ZTan comes back, dives in, confirms FuegoMyEggo's KillCamKenny tanks tower with an Aegis and an ultimate. King of Darkness looking kind of hungry. KillCamKenny trying to show King of Darkness who's boss. Damage coming out, but cannot find King of Darkness. That was a huge fight swing and a very, very aggressive ultimate from ZTan. And he managed to make it work with KillCamKenny tanking that tower.
It is so aggressive, man. My man was 7-0, now 8-0. If you get a kill on this guy, the bounty that you're going to get is so huge.
He's too slippery, though.
ZTantalus has got to watch his health bars, because if he goes down, especially to a carry over here, when the difference in levels is maybe 1 to 2 max, it's pretty even over here in ADC. It's going to be a huge boon for Honey Buns over here, but walk around the corner here. Maybe he's gonna get more kills before he even thinks about dying.
Rushology trying to get out with Branching Bolas. Dash comes out. ZTan closes the distance. Can't find it. Darkness comes out and makes sure that nobody can see, getting Rushology out of that tight spot. FuegoMyEggo's coming in, but there's a disparity in levels. ZTantalus is looking at him. King of Darkness is trying to get his advantage on KillCamKenny, but in the back we see Disengage coming out. And it's just looking around. LUCENTCOLORS dashes to try to create distance, and it looks like all it's going to be is just poke. But solo lane here, we got an ultimate coming to King Arthur. Both people are low. King Arthur just doing as much damage with all his abilities, but now Colin gets his second set. Warcry comes out, a lot of damage, but the stun off the tier 1 ultimate from King Arthur manages to secure his safety. Gold Fury is now being looked at by Toaster Strudels. King of Darkness trying to see if he can get anything out of it. Trying to see if he can confirm with any of his abilities, but KillCamKenny just gonna walk past him. King of Darkness jumps in, but Toaster Strudels confirms the damage. Now we see a Kraken coming out on Pyromancer to try to see if they can get any return damage. Honey Buns does secure it, and FuegoMyEggo is trying to run as fast as he can, but we got Demon's Release coming to try to get any damage that KillCamKenny can get, but now he's caught out. King of Darkness looking to see if he can get anything from him, but even without his knockback immunity, KillCamKenny's gonna get out, but King of Darkness is now stuck in the same position, trying to get anywhere he can, but MiniDelvin manages to secure the damage on King of Darkness. This tier 1 tower looks like it's going to fall. Rushology and now Huntor are being stuck, trying to defend this tier 2. Huntor's gotta run. He's way too low. And now the rest of the map is just open to Toaster Strudels.
A great conversion onto that Gold Fury from Toaster Strudels, and good recognition from Honey Buns to make sure that you get something out of it. I was a little scared of how the end went over there. Fuego was getting a little low on the health bar, but thankfully when the demons came out, it wasn't quite enough to secure him. Kenny is a menace over here. Had he shown up maybe 2 seconds earlier, he would have run that Pyromancer pit and maybe secured more than 1 kill for himself.
Both objectives look like they were going to get stolen from either team. ZTantalus looking for through the cosmos. He puts his beads, but doesn't think it's better of it. We got King of Darkness using his ultimate to hop over the wall, close distance, but I don't think he's going to be able to get anything on ZTan. Now he's just got his Fearless coming out, trying to get anything he can with some CC, but ZTantalus is going to just hop away. Rushology now getting caught. LUCENTCOLORS gets the stun out. Darkness all around. Gold Rushology is trying to see what he can get, but LuneyToons is staying just far enough away. Lucien confirms the damage on Rushology. King of Darkness now stuck between a team and no one else. LuneyToons confirms the damage, but KillCamKenny putting out all those demons. Kraken to try to confirm or do any retaliating damage, but KillCamKenny dodges just barely and secures the kill onto FuegoMyEggo. Now we got Physics trying to look to see get a kill. Warcry comes out for the damage, tank and tower shots. Pretty healthy. Delvin's now stuck. Damage comes out, just finishes off Delvin. Not good. Losses all around, but at least Honey Buns can find some damage somewhere on the solo lane and try to take advantage there and taking that T1.
One thing that maybe we haven't had the chance to talk about through the chaos, but I was certainly noticing through that, was Lucen is always in the exact right spot at the exact right time. Looney
getting too aggressive. King of Darkness blinked to try to confirm it, but doesn't matter. The tower and Rushology managed to just take it off. And now we're seeing her fighting for the totem here. Lucien just posting up, trying to see what he can do, but we see 5 coming to try to secure this objective. Lucien trying to just make anything he can. KillCamKenny trying to push off with damage. The counter's almost full, but the full team of Honey Buns is here to try to retaliate. Physics trying to push out KillCamKenny, but we now got the whole team of Toaster Strudels coming in. KillCamKenny secures the damage on Rushology. FuegoMyEggo falls to ZTantalus. All of Toaster Strudels is now here to confirm the objective that they can, while also pushing out Honey Buns. PhysicsDZN is getting caught out by King Arthur, stuck, and Warcry gives him this little amount of CC immunity he can get off all of this. Toaster Strudels does not care. They are pushing forward with all the damage. Demons come out to play. Try to find any damage. King Darkness managed to run away. Physics trying to find any security under that T2 just falls to ZTantalus. And it's just not looking good. LuneyToons coming out for blood, but just arriving a bit too late to the party. This mid objective is going to go the way of Toaster Strudels.
The map state is all Toaster Strudels right now. That fight around the beacon, there's really no way you can win it if you're Honey Buns unless you have a huge advantage going into that team fight. Toaster Strudels were just able to get there a little quicker and make their presence known.
Yeah, if I'm a captain right now looking at this Scouting Grounds game, my big thing is watching who can kill Tantalus, because like you said, it's a big bounty, but it's also going to tell me, all right, they know how to deal with someone who is who's running away with the game, who might be a little overconfident because he's also subbing in here, right? So he's got nothing to lose by just playing however he wants to play. So how can you exploit some player who might play a little bit more aggressively? And if I'm a captain, that's what I'm trying to look for right now.
Right. This
Crack the
Ratatoskr,
confirmed Pyromancer.
huge amounts of gold on him, but at the same time, going half tank. We see the Archdruids coming out. They're gonna take a Gold Fury too. ZTantalus has the tankiness to make sure that he's gonna live forever, but the damage to still threaten any of these characters.
Oh, Blink comes in, can't find the Acorn Blast stun. We're looking at an ultimate coming out of Rushology to make sure ZTantalus goes in blind as everything. Apple comes out on KillCamKenny, but he secures the kill on Huntor, and now FuegoMyEggo is running away 4 levels down as KillCamKenny just walking, but here comes ZTantalus with a through the Cosmos, misses, but gets the Acorn stun. FuegoMyEggo just trying to run away. King of Darkness is just knocking up as much as possible to get his teammate out. ZTantalus closes the distance, but a Lawbringer is going to keep King of Darkness safe for now.
They're so strong, man. They're walking wherever they want. They're posting up in their lanes, in their jungles. They don't care. ZTantalus is walking all around the map, fighting a Shibalanke all he wants, and he's not getting punished. He just walks over to mid lane and takes more kills for himself.
And one thing I'm going to say is, we got LuneyToons is getting a little too low. Mesmerize comes out, dash, moving away, but Rushology, it's no good. He might be able to get out. We got an ultimate coming out, cracking it, trying to stun. We got the Age of saving LuneyToons. He's got no health. He's trying to run away, dip, duck, dive, and dodging, and he gets out just barely, at least for now. But FuegoMyEggo's looking for it. Ultimate coming out, LuneyToons. FuegoMyEggo doesn't check, but now he got through the Cosmos from ZTantalus, and he is protecting his friend, gets the kill on Rushology. LuneyToons is overstaying his welcome on that chariot, and he's just gonna think better of it. And that was a nail biter. That's no other way to put it, because I was ready to count him out dead in so many points there, and they just couldn't confirm it. FuegoMyEggo had him around a corner while he was ulting away, but he just couldn't see him.
Toaster Strudels are playing Protect the LuneyToons as my man gets out with red HP. Not even sweating though. Goes into the ult, just rides around in circles a little bit, watching the other team going into the grave. Like, yeah, you can't kill me. It's fine.
That Kraken too, that he ageist as well. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm remembering the Great Escape as we keep talking about it.
I still can't believe it, man. ZTantalus runs on in from halfway across from mid lane. He slams himself down, makes sure that his friend gets out. These two are hand in hand in loving each other right now. I'm loving it, and I'm sure Toaster Strudels are feeling great about that one.
And now we see this gold difference really starting to run away with it. Almost 7,000 difference. XP is something to look at, but I always say it's gold because the difference in the power in the items, the passives, that's where it really starts paying off and where you can start seeing the difference. ZTantalus showing he's not scared of anybody, just fighting physics however he can. We got the knockup coming out of physics. King of Darkness trying to run away as physics 1v4. He's barely taking any damage from 4 people. Shoulder charge into the tower, but now it's all catching up to him as LuneyToons gets there. King of Darkness jumps in a little late with the knockups, and he's caught in an ultimate from MiniDelvin. And we're gonna get a kill from ZTantalus, confirming it as FuegoMyEggo kills KillCamKenny, who I think got a little too aggressive. He was definitely in enemy territory behind the walls too, essentially with the Phoenixes.
Yeah, we get a little bit of goofy sometimes. Sometimes, you know, you're up a ton of gold, you just want to run at their Phoenixes. KillCamKenny obviously feeling himself over here. This time, though, he gets checked. On the other side, Rushology is going to be able to get that left side tower, but Toaster Strudels with the advantage. The pressure that they were able to get, and it looking like no pressure coming towards them on this, they're going to be able to get this Fire Giant for pretty much free, unless Fuego has something to say about it.
FuegoMyEggo comes in! Toaster Strudels does secure, but I think the big issue there is if FuegoMyEggo had his ultimate up, he did not, unfortunately. But one of the big problems with his new Fire Giant is that, with the Kraken especially, it's an object, so it's like a wall essentially, so it's hard to really place the Kraken there, so it's hard to steal with the Kraken. And I got some of my own stories of the funny things with that, of players trying to sit there and secure. But we look like Buns is going to try to retaliate with a Gold Fury, a Primal Fury right now, but Looney is not one to be outdone, just kind of scares them away. A couple autos makes them back up and rethink their life choices.
Yeah, the Apollo just straight up strutting towards the Gold Fury. We know, having the full minimap, none of his team was there, but Looney doesn't care. He walks
Oh,
on
Looney
up,
never cares.
scares them away, and they're gonna think twice about walking towards that Gold Fury. Punching up around this Pyromancer, though, is 2 of Toaster Strudels for now.
And we got abilities coming out through the Cosmos, hits Huntor, and they are gone. Rushology gets a return kill on KillCamKenny. Physics trying to get out. A big Kraken has split up the fight, but now it looks like LuneyToons has finally arrived in. FuegoMyEggo is not looking too hot, but manages to turn a corner and avoid the ultimates. King of Darkness now is just posting up and trying to get a little CC that he can to open up things for his team. The ZTantalus comes back in. LuneyToons confirms the kill on Rushology, and his buddy secures the kill on King of Darkness. A big turnaround coming around from that ZTantalus and just turning the whole fight. Just made everyone look back at him when King of Darkness sat there and pushed Looney up against a wall. There you go, hand in hand again, saving each other. And this objective in the middle, this pyramid, this pillar, what is it called? You know what it's called? This new stuff?
You know,
Stygian pillar?
my Stygian
Stygian
beacon.
beacon.
My
Stygian beacon.
brain blanked the second you said that, man. Okay. What I was gonna say is Toaster Strudels need to be wary, because you saw it in that fight. We all saw it. Rushology is slamming the damage down. His team's hurt, but him and Physics are pretty far up there. Rushology grabbing 21k himself.
Physics comes in with an
down
ultimate
this
to try
whole
to
time.
steal Primal Fury, but Toaster Strudels gets Pyromancer with Honey Buns. Honey Buns gets Pyromancer, Toaster Strudels gets Oni. Physics gets a kill on Lucent, and ZTantalus confirms a kill on FuegoMyEggo. I found my words.
I don't know what to say, man. They're still fighting. They're still coming out like it's early game. The Titans, though.
Titan time! Ding, ding, ding!
walking
Let's
up
rumble in the
lane.
solo lane. And I'm so excited to see this. This is my favorite change of this whole season. Just watching them bout it out. And the one thing I hope they update in some of this spectators, I want to see who got those pillars. I believe Toaster Strudels may have gotten most of them, but we know that those pillars help with the damage on the opposing Titan, and I think Honey Buns is gonna have a bit of a hard time here trying to retaliate with anything, because their Titan's now just taking damage, surrounded by 4, and Toaster Strudel's Titan hasn't even met him yet. Looks like Honey Buns are gonna lose their Titan in this all-out bout. And Toaster Strudels are now walking it down. Giant sword with the judgment scales coming to your Phoenix. Coming soon.
Yeah, Honey Buns. I don't blame them for letting their Titan fall there. There's not really that much you can do in the middle of the solo lane over there. But now Toaster Strudels basically have a siege juggernaut walking up here. LuneyToons might be in some trouble over here, getting a little overconfident.
Gets caught out by King of Darkness. A blink from Physics gets the kill. King of Darkness dragged him into the tower, and now Physics is dancing around with 3 people: ZTantalus, Devlin, and LUCENTCOLORS. We see Honey Buns is trying to save their teammate. LUCENTCOLORS gets knocked up by King of Darkness, manages to find the point where he was not CC'ing, and Kraken coming out. Doesn't matter. Delvin gets the kill on Rushology, and Physics is trying to get the kill on Lucent. Can't seem to find it. ZTantalus trying to defend his friend. Delvin's managed to run back to try to help his teammate out. Physics getting caught out. Explosions from every different item here and there. So many people dying. KillCamKenny gets caught out. Physics dies, and Rushology's already dead. Delvin gets caught out and killed. So many people dying in such a fraction of a second there. That was a bloodbath.
And as the curtains fall on that fight, we see Honey Buns taking a kill advantage in that one. You can't play it like it's early game anymore. You don't have insane leads going out. All the carries are level 20, and guess what? Fuego and Huntor are gonna be slamming. Rushology's a late game Shibalanke. He's going to do way more damage than you expect. This guy 2-shots you no matter what. So Toaster Strudels, they still got the gold lead. They still should have map control for now. But they really have to watch out, because going forward they can't afford to play this risky. LuneyToons got caught out by the Fearless, and that sets up for the rest of the fight. You don't have health on your ADC for the next part of it. King of Darkness going up huge with a 2-man Fearless right after, and making sure that Toaster Strudels are never able to get their footing in that fight. Amazing plays coming out from Honey Buns to keep them in this game and make sure that they're not out of the running just yet.
An interesting thing about the timing of these Titan fights is by the end of them, most likely it's going to be EFG, and that's what's going to be happening. This next Fire Giant fight is going to be a big thing to look at, but LuneyToons is going to look to split push while everyone's starting to dance around that Fire Giant. But we get a teleport coming out. I don't think it's going to matter, but Delvin gets there just in time, or maybe not in time enough. FuegoMyEggo gets a confirmed kill on Lucian. ZTantalus is finding his kill. He's trying to, through the Cosmos, lands on Rushology and confirms the kill. FuegoMyEggo gets another kill and KillCamKenny. LuneyToons finally coming in. Doesn't look like the teleport even went through. LuneyToons gets his Phoenix, but ZTantalus falls down. LuneyToons gets a kill on Huntor, and now it's just seeing who can get out at this point. Honey Bun's looking low, but they're up 3-2. Delvin's trying to get damage out in physics. All of these abilities coming out. The hamstring, the spin to win, the slash, overhead, anything from physics. Physics gets away barely. LuneyToons trying to find his damage. Physics gets killed by the Fire Giant. Delvin gets the kill and finds another kill on King of Darkness. This 3v2 turns into 2v1 as FuegoMyEggo runs away. That is so unfortunate for Physics. And I think the funny thing was, it was his, it was whatever exploded. I think it was his sigil. And I think that made the Fire Giant mad, and it flicked him. And then he took a dirt nap.
My jaw is on the floor, Gear. Fire Giant GOAT, Physics Items GOAT. Toaster Strudels are sitting back in their chairs like, okay, we got the advantage, it's fine. LuneyToons was just swinging, man. Him and MiniDelvin were playing games in that backline. On the edge of my seat here because I'm thinking, oh no, this is the point where Honey Buns come back into the game. But right at the end there, the fight turns and they're gonna get the EFG now. A turn and a turn and a turn right back into Toaster Strudels.
I don't know if they're gonna get it. We got a teleport coming in, and Huntor is looking to see if he can do any confirmed damage coming out with the Discordia ball. Toaster Strudels does confirm it. And now Honey Buns are on the back foot. 1 Phoenix down, 2 standing, and an EFG ready to rock. And it looks like Honey Buns, though, does have solo lane wave pushed up at least. So Toaster Strudels is going to have to deal with that. But we got fire minions coming in that left lane here, that dual lane. It's not looking good. If I'm Honey Buns, I'm trying to plan to see how I can best turn this fight to my advantage. What we need to do. King of Darkness needs to get a sneaky little Fearless into a big Kraken and just a lot of damage that puts Toaster Strudels on the back foot. We're looking at Oni Fury here coming for Toaster Strudels. Honey Buns does know as Physics is staring at it, but they're contemplating whether to engage. FuegoMyEggo's looking like he might want it, but I just decide better of it. Oni Fury falls to Toaster Strudels. KillCamKenny getting pretty aggressive. ZTantalus comes to support him through the Cosmos, lands Kraken as ZTantalus lands. FuegoMyEggo getting low, but he's stuck in the circle of demons, gets possessed and falls. Delvin gets a kill on PhysicsDZN, and now it's not looking good for Honey Buns as it's 5 strong EFG coming out. Ultimate from Discordia trying to get as much damage as she can. Doesn't matter. Obliterated by KillCamKenny and LuneyToons. Delvin's trying his best to get King of Darkness. Rushology getting caught out. ZTantalus just going crazy. Gets the kill on Rushology. 18-1. This Titan's fighting for its life. King of Darkness there to try to help it out. Doesn't matter. Health is burning. It's bleeding. It's over. Toaster Strudels secures this oppressive victory on Honey Buns in an amazing game.
Drop my phone now, that's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Bite my lips so I can taste your affection. Caught on you, tunnel vision. I can't see anybody else but you.
Welcome back to the desk after a bit of a banger. ZTantalus and KingFsher.
Good to be back. Good to have that first game out of the way. And if you're Toaster Strudels, you're glad the game went that way. Dominant from minute 1. You in particular running around like crazy. But how about the rest of the team rolling with that lead and taking it home for game number 1? Strong start from the Toaster Strudels. On the flip side, if you're Honey Buns, where do you think that started going wrong in game number 1?
Well, the lead for the most of that game, up until the final, I'd say third of it, the lead wasn't that wild. It was 4,000 gold. It was definitely playable. I think you need to regroup. I think you need to rethink some of the fights you were trying to take. Some of those went pretty badly and lost you some pretty big objectives, stuff like that. I don't think it's anything that you can't change for game 2. I think it's just do a little bit of rethinking.
Already got some bright areas you can improve on. Looking at that Kakol in nearly 40,000 player damage in a 35-minute game, that's pretty dang good. Dwarfed everybody on the Toaster Strudels team. On the flip side, though, that's something you like to see if you're Toaster Strudels. Nobody had as big a damage as that Kakolin, but it's so even across the board. 26, 30, 33, 32. Tells me they're all playing together as a team really well. They're spread out. All players contributing really nicely there from Toaster Strudel. But even after talking about what the players did, what they need to do for game 2, if we look at just gods, because we talked about this a lot on the desk in game 1, are there any that were played this game that you think just, bar none, have to be banned out?
Not to harp on myself, but the Ratatasker, you've got to ban it. You've got to take it away. It did too much. The Zhonghui was a menace. Might even consider banning that. He, with the Terra ult going on top of them, on top of the 120 protections and that ult, he's a hard man to kill. I think I said it on the desk the first time. He's a hard man to kill. I think the drafts can definitely be switched up a little bit. The Poseidon, maybe not. Maybe we go to a more traditional style of jungle there. I don't like the tier. The tier. There's better options. There's definitely better options. Keep the tier to the solo lane for now. Maybe even play the Terra.
Yeah, we'll see what they're gonna do. A lot of things they can do feels like something we talk about pretty often. How these teams bounce back after a loss. Gonna be able to keep an eye on all those players from the Honey Bun. See how they respond in this game too. We're not gonna lay much longer on the desk, so we're gonna throw it to a quick break and be right back with game number 2.
Laughing on the floor as we watch reruns of Friends.
Welcome back to game number 2 between Toaster Strudels and Honey Buns. I'm KingFsher, joined once again by ZTan. If you're just tuning in, you missed an insane game 1. Toaster Strudels got off to a roll and never seemed to stop, so it's going to be up to Honey Buns to see what they can do to slow them down here. We talked about it a little bit at the end of last game, but playstyle wasn't something we talked over huge. Do you think Honey Buns need to have more of a focus on that early game with their comp, or draft something that allows them to maybe have an easier time dealing with it late game?
Well, a lot of your early game gods are suffering a little bit right now, due to some of the item changes and nerfs. You're not getting quite as much out of the early game as you were. Certain gods can still do it. We see they're still banning the Nox. Nobody's wanting to deal with that right now. Achilles going away too. I've yet to see Achilles make it through in a game here. Is he that good?
I personally think so. I mean, we've seen it a lot in the jungler where you said the bruisers were really good. We predicted all the normal lane bully solos would be good again. And on top of that, Achilles got a big buff, so now the execute threshold's at 35% instead of 30. So I think the bans are justified. Admittedly, I haven't seen him played yet, so I don't know how impactful it is, but I understand the ban. I think it's smart. On top of that, we do have to mention real quick, these are scouting games. Games are getting balanced all the time. The backliners for both teams have switched sides. So something to look at chemistry-wise, and hopefully seeing if those Toaster Strudel backliners now on Honey Buns are going to be able to bring that winning mentality to push us to Game 3.
It will be interesting. Yeah, both the mid and the carry have been swapped over, so hopefully that should make a pretty good difference here. Ban's pretty much the same all across the board. Honey Bun's banning both Marty and Hachi, and then first picking the Terra.
Smart move. You get a good Guardian, and on top of that, you don't give the Terra back to Lucent Colors, which is a mistake. Looked really good on that pick in the first game. They've done good all Season 2. Expect that to continue into Season 3. And I think you're right. I think it's literally the same bans across the board, except for a little swapped around. So I'll be interested to see if they take any different picks this time. Looks like they're already going with two, with a Horus and an Osiris. That's going to be a jungle and a support. They still have to take the solo laner.
What can I say? I love Osiris.
Fair enough. All you need to say, Warrior's good in every role this season. Sure to be good in that jungler, but looking across, Horus support rather, it's something that really picked up in the tail end of Season 2. It's never been a pick I personally am particularly huge on, even after that latest nerf. I think got a 2, maybe 3 second cooldown to that Protector Surge, but they've been inspired. The Red Tasker wasn't banned this game. Instead, it's going to be picked up for the solo lane in PhysicsDZN. Do you like the Ratatasker more in the solo, or are you keeping him in the jungle, if it's you?
I don't think it makes a huge difference, because like the way that he's being built, it's irrelevant. You could put him either role. He's damn near full tank either way. And the damage output is still there, the displacement's there, the CC's there, the semi-global ult's still there. It's just a matter of how you want to fight with him in the lane.
Fair enough. We're going to have to see how well they're able to keep up. The solo laner's still not locked in there for the Toaster Strudel, so difficult to say how hard of a matchup they're going to have. But one pick we've already been seeing a decent amount of this season, it's not going to go to the support like normal. Instead, we got a Kuzenbo solo for MiniDelvin, or MiniDelvin rather. Do you think Kuzenbo obviously had a really big buff, has been performing well in support? Do you think he's going to have that same success over in the long lane?
The laning phase, maybe not quite, but I think kind of in the same sense of, the way you play an Odin solo, right? You're not playing him to win the lane. He's not going to do that. You're playing him for what he brings to the team fights. And I think Kuzenbo is going to be in kind of the same position here. Great displacement, lots of CC. He's got a great team fight, and I think that's what you're looking for here. Not necessarily that he's going to run the lane, but he's going to be more useful to you in the late game.
Gonna have to keep an eye on that the later this game goes, and they didn't want KillCamKenny on the John Queen when they're against their team. It's gonna get banned away, and we talked about him in Game 1, on her, finally gonna be locked in. I don't know why Honey Buns elected to ban the Rama and the Cernunnos. They're both still great ADCs even after the nerf, but seeing somebody like the On Her, the Artemis, the Apollo, all three, which got really, really big buffs, hard to imagine those don't get banned out. What are you expecting from the On Her here in this match?
Well, I think On Her's in a really good spot right now. With the power items being nerfed, that extra pin that On Her gets in his passive, it really matters that much more. You can build some more power on him, you can spike that a little higher and still get a good penetration output on it. On Her goes hard.
Absolutely does. Has a good laning phase as well. Nice CC immunity in that kit. So I'll be looking for them to do a lot of damage. And speaking of damage, and a Wheelix and a Thoth. We don't see a ton of Thoth these days. Certainly still a strong mage. Going to be interested to see what they can do. And even with that CC immune ultimate, still going to be vulnerable to that Wheelix. FuegoMyEggo should have a really, really strong matchup into this backline here for the Toaster Strudels. And an Agni to round it all out.
Yeah, you mentioned the Horus support. I didn't quite get to answer you, a little earlier. Like the Horus support, I like. It just depends on who's playing it, right? Like, if we're landing the things at the right time, if you're using the displacement, he can be a great support. So, gonna be interested to see how Lucent does with it. I've mostly seen him on Yamoja.
Yamoja's been pretty solid. The Nox has as well. They've really done everything pretty well in that support role. For that reason, normally I'd be a little bit scared of how the Horus is going to execute in that role. Can be a kind of tricky, deceptively tricky god to play sometimes. But given that it's Lucent, I've got no worries. They've done good the entire scouting grads. They did good in game number 1 as well. Hard to imagine they wouldn't do good as well with that Horus. But when we look at these two team comps, these are two very different teams from the front line all the way to the back line. Is there one that you think is going to have an inherent advantage going into this game 2 here?
Depending on how that Toth is played, he's going to be a problem. He's got Terror around him. He's got an Awelish. He's got a Ratatasker. He's going to be able to free cast. And, you know, if the Toaster Strudels can't get to him, that's going to spell trouble.
There's going to be a lot of the rest in the hands of that. Kuzenbo, Osiris, and Horus, when you say those three out loud, there's going to be a lot of dive there. I mean, Horus Ultin, the Watery Grave just displaces so many people at the same time. Get off the anti-heal with the Osiris ult. It's going to be really stacked against that Honey Buns backline. But you said it perfectly. It's going to come down to execution, how well they're able to do that draft. We've looked at the Thoth a little bit, and I want to go over to the Izanami. It's a pick we haven't seen a ton of. Do you still like this pick even after all the other buffs a few of the other hunters have been getting?
I mean, she checks all the boxes. She's got great wave clear. She has excellent poke. She has a good team fight ult. She has an escape. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your boxes checked. You know, items right now are pretty solid across the board on all of the hunters. They all perform similarly damage-wise for the most part. I think it's a good pick.
Hard to argue with that. Logic certainly does check all the boxes. You're going to need it going into that on her. We talked about it in Game 1 and Game 2. A lot of buffs. That god looking really, really strong. But I think there's still one we haven't talked about. I think I mentioned it briefly. Seeing an Awelix here. What do you think of that god? Because admittedly, we haven't seen a ton of that lately, even in the end of the Season 2 playoffs.
I don't necessarily love the pick here. You know, the only god on the opposing team that you're really giving trouble to is the Onher, which admittedly good. You definitely want to give the enemy carry trouble, but I don't think Awelish finds quite the value that another assassin could have here. We'll see how he plays.
Not too many knockups to speak of in that team comp. Going to be relying heavily on that Ratatasker Zol, I would bet. But there's only so much we can speculate here on the desks, so let's not delay any further. Headed back into game a little bit late with Gearchief and Akamaru.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Unfortunately, we had a bit of spectator problems, so you're going to join us here a little bit halfway through. Honey Buns up 17-11 on Toaster Strudels. Toaster Strudels, who are pulling away with the first game win. And we're looking at Physics in solo lane, and he seems to be doing himself pretty well in this Ratatasker. With me, we got Ken Akamaru. Ken, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just getting myself situated over here. And let me just say, mentioning physics on that Ratatasker, this character, I'm a Ratatasker lover over here. That character's a menace in the solo lane. You get this guy ahead, he's gonna make things happen. Up here in the mid lane now.
Well, it looks like FuegoMyEggo is getting caught out by ZTantalus on the Osiris. Physics with the Through the Cosmos to try to save his teammate. Gets him away. ZTantalus hops on his ultimate. Horus coming in, trying to get his teammates out. Teams are split. King of Darkness now backing up on that Terra. And we see that both teams are just going to create their own space. And Toaster Strudels is backing out while Honey Buns tries to take this Pyromancer. Toaster Strudel's coming in. Physics looking at 4 by himself. So confident in what he can do. Pushed into the wall by Delvin. Ultimate comes out by King of Darkness. Confirms the kill. KillCamKenny confirms the kill on Rushology. Getting pushed out. Delvin gets caught by the Willick's ultimate. Pulled back in, but doesn't matter. Tries to push out. Confirms the kill. LuneyToons gets the return kill on Delvin. ZTantalus trying to do whatever he can, swinging his arms around, but gets caught out by LuneyToons, who secures the kill on his own friend. ZTantalus has now switched teams, and LuneyToons is not going to let him get away with that. He's a bit mad that his friend had ditched him.
Honeybuns, with this comp, I'm liking it a little more. They got a lot more damage over here. The Thoth and the Izanami able to make a lot of presence over here. And being able to have that Ratatosker in the soul lane, he's not dying. You saw Physics walking in there. He didn't care about all of Toaster Strudels walking in, and he's able to make enough space for Honeybuns. By the time Toaster Strudels gets in, KillCamKenny and LuneyToons are just making it happen. Those two characters, although high in execution on the mage side, are able to just pump out some insane numbers. Look at the player damage. These two guys are up on top, and there's barely any competition over there.
Honeybun secures Primal Fury off of, we see that Huntor was looking at it to try to steal it, but doesn't manage to get it. Now both teams are trying to look to farm up to get ready for this Titan push that's going to come soon. I believe it comes at 26 minutes if I'm correct. And I don't know if it looks like the Stygian pillar is going to come soon before it, and both teams are going to try to see if they can posture up ward-wise to get the best advantage they can on this tower.
Right, that Stygian beacon's going to be coming up soon, 6 minutes after the previous one dropped, right after which the Titans are going to start coming up to these lanes. So we're going to see some fights going to be starting up around the Stygian beacon's charge, and that means it's going to be up in about 2 minutes. And we're going to see these teams posturing around this middle side, around that Fire Giant and that Beacon, to try to make something happen around these sides. To look at these fights, I'm loving the damage from Honeybuns. It is high on execution. Toaster Strudels do have a lot of confirmable damage off of that Agni and the Horus being able to set up those kills really well. But the fight, I mean, you can't deny the power of Through the Cosmos and the ultimate from the Terra. They're gonna be looking to fight, and they're not gonna wait. They're gonna look at this Fire Giant.
Horus looking to come in, Fire Giant at half, but it was a bait. Honeybun's looking to go back. Horus is now away out of the fight. Rushology's now just trying to hop out best he can, but Physics is coming back out. Manages to land on Huntor. Gets stunned out by a dash and a noxious fumes. MiniDelvin gets the kill on KillCamKenny. And we see LuneyToons is trying to get out. No health. The Invis helps out there. Physics stuck between 5. Gets put down by Rushology. And now this is going to be a free Fire Giant for Toaster Strudels. King of Darkness doing the best he can. Caught up in the sands as Rushology leaps in and confirms the kill. Opening up this Fire Giant to Toaster Strudels with a big turnaround on that fight.
The separation and the coordinated takedown of Honeybuns in there just looks good. Lucent able to set up so many of those kills and able to just get in there and make the damage happen before Honeybuns can really rally. They're walking out of that Fire Giant, but they're not all fully together. It looked like they were trying to set up a flank on that right side, and it just wasn't able to work out for them. Trying to make a play happen, but at least for this point, with the lead that they had, not able to make it happen. And that Fire Giant and the Stygian Beacon are going to go to Toaster Strudels.
And unfortunately, we cannot see who's got what at the first couple Stygians. LuneyToons is trying to show face, but getting caught out by Lucent. Lucent's making sure Looney does not get any advantage here. Honeybun's coming out to try to see what they can do about this beacon, but it doesn't matter. It's all done. Titans are getting ready. Bell's starting to ring. Cage is set, and now it's time to see what these Titans can do, which lane they're going to pick, and where the fight's going to be. And this is going to be very exciting.
I just love that pop-up. It says, "Prepare for Titans." It feels so official and so hype when it comes out. ZTantalus trying to start something before they come up.
Two friends fight, but ZTantalus gets caught out. Too much damage on LuneyToons with the ultimate. ZTantalus falls as King of Darkness manages to pull Looney out of a very disadvantageous fight at the start.
You see the rest of Toaster Strudels grouping around this right side as Tantalus might fall, but they got a group in somewhere else.
It looks like the Titans are going to choose solo lane once again. Here comes Physics through the Cosmos, lands, gets stunned out, can't find the stun, and Rushology's trying his best to get out, but with 2 tanky boys, the tower just doesn't mean anything. Toaster Strudels trying to get the advantage in the first hits on this Titan to give their Titan some breathing room, but a teleport coming in and KillCamKenny just on the sides there. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get the advantage that they want to get. And I gotta just say, those Titan animations are pretty awesome. Like, you see the just like line of lightning that just obliterated the minions.
It looks so cool,
That
man.
looks so awesome.
Especially Order Titan. I am an Order Titan stand going in here. Look at that, man. The effects
That's
are
always
sick.
so awesome. But we see Honey Buns now getting their poke damage onto this Toaster Strudels Titan, fighting for its life, but just can't seem to catch a break. Once again, the Order Titan's got its team to save itself and have its back. But this time, there's 2 Bastions and a T1 tower. Toaster Strudels does have the breathing room. Honey Buns, though, going to look to retaliate with a nice Primal Fury.
It felt like after that Fire Giant push, they still got it on 3, but it felt like Toaster Strudels were priming themselves for whatever lane it came to, making sure that they had presence, but a little bit of overstep made sure that that pressure was lost pretty quickly. Honey Bun's in the driver's seat right now, but still Fire Giant on 3 members. There could be another fight that breaks out. Honey Buns have to watch out to make sure they're not caught out during that time period.
Toaster Strudels looking to posture for a Pyromancer, get a nice Pyro Bomb. Physics is getting a little cheeky, looking around these corners, up in the air, setting the branch, hop 1, land on 2, trying to get as much disruption as can, taking all the abilities, but barely any damage, but now it's starting to come out. Physics is low, 1 hit, Delvin gets the confirmed kill, now KillCamKenny gets a kill on Lucent. And ZTantalus manages to catch out FuegoMyEggo. We got all these ultimates abilities coming out. Rushology gets killed by King of Darkness and a whole bunch of explosions. LuneyToons trying to find whatever damage he can, gets absolutely braced. Delvin manages to confirm the kill, but KillCamKenny's now trying what he can, getting booted and slowed and attacked by ZTantalus, who's now whipping around those autos and finding the kill on KillCamKenny. King of Darkness trying best he can. ZTantalus not letting him go, stealing movement speed, getting this for himself. Stun comes out. ZTantalus confirms the kill. Huntor sets up a beautiful stun. Now they're looking at this T2.
It is the dream fight for Toaster Strudels in that moment. They love those long fights. You saw that. They were fighting for like 30 seconds over there and nothing was happening. Huntor on that Agni and ZTantalus on that Cyrus love to just keep pumping out those abilities. They're not bothered by ultimates going down and abilities going on cooldown because they just keep getting them back up and they're not losing that much as they go on. You only get 1 Terra ultimate, you only get a 1 Gravity Surge, and you only get 1 through the Cosmos. And so the longer those go on, Toaster Strudels are feeling pretty good about that, and they're coming out just barely on top of that fight, 5-2.
The one thing I think I'd like to see out of Honey Buns, I'd like to see a bit more grouping and a bit more coordinated attacks. It seemed like they were a bit split. Physics managed to find a big ultimate out there and was taking a lot of damage, but with 4 around him, it didn't really seem like there was much return damage coming out of Honey Buns. They might have been stuck with their own fight, but I think between both of them, they need to figure out a way to start taking advantage of the disruption that Physics presents, and maybe he needs to start coordinating with his team because they have the tools there. It's there. But they just need to find a way to execute it correctly.
Yeah, they've got to be together. You have a huge coordinated damage stream coming out from KillCamKenny and LuneyToons. You just have to find either that pick or that fight where they can just get it all off. They get it off, and that fight is basically won right from the start. Let's see if they can make it happen
ZTantalus
here.
getting caught out of position, has to ult away to save his own life. LuneyToons getting caught with a stun, but it's just poke damage coming out from both teams. KillCamKenny looking just take a little bit damage. LuneyToons took the brunt of it, and Delvin is now walking away with half health. Like LuneyToons is now at 3/4 as they're dancing around this Fire Giant, trying to see who makes the first misstep and take the advantage off there. Last time Honey Buns tried to bait him in and dropped it. Physics goes in with a dash, misses, gets caught out by Lucent. Lucent manages to get a nice stun, and Rushology confirms the damage on Physics. Couldn't get out in time through the Cosmos. Huntor coming in with all those spears doesn't find him. KillCamKenny manages to find the return damage on ZTantalus. And now it's going back as we got two supports, both low. FuegoMyEggo finds the kill on Lucent, who just couldn't get away in time. King of Darkness staying around a little too long. And you got both mids now just chucking damage. Nobody finds anything, as any type of hit would have been lethal. Now both teams just giving each space, trying to see who's going to engage first. It looks like Delvin's going to try to get in on KillCamKenny. Push him into the wall, but he gets away. FuegoMyEggo looks to ult, knocks Rushology up, or catches him in the leap. But the beads save him. LuneyToons now getting caught, but can't seem to find his way out of this one, as too many AoEs and too many stuns confirms the kill for Delvin.
It feels like Honey Buns are able to get stuff in these fights. They have a lot of pressure from that damage, and it's clear that Toaster Strudels can't just walk up. But man, once the dust settles, Toaster Strudels just have so much of an ability to stay in that fight and make themselves known. Huntor needs to stay alive. He is so key to this fight, and he's putting out so much damage. And MiniDelvin, he's just fighting LuneyToons. He doesn't care. He's just gonna put on put on that reflect shell, and he's gonna make it happen. Toaster Strudels have a great extended fight here, and they're gonna try to make it happen again.
Physics dashes in through the Cosmos, a nice stun from King Darkness. Physics looking for the kill, but goes a little too late. Now he's caught out. KillCamKenny gets Rushology. Physics trying to find his way out. King of Darkness putting up the pillar for a little bit of heals and a threatening route. MiniDelvin managed to pick out FuegoMyEggo and gets the head off at Fire Giant. Physics falls. ZTantalus gets a kill on King of Darkness. Now KillCamKenny is left all alone out here, trying to regroup with LuneyToons, but this is 4 on fire, and they're just daring KillCamKenny to do whatever he can, take a wrong step. Delvin looking for it, comes out the turtle, the reflect damage, but the dash is going to be used to get away. Dark Portal comes out for the silence and the damage, but Huntor manages to push away LuneyToons. This Fire Giant's looking a little too dangerous for team who one is too low and the other just doesn't have the teammates to really secure it. KillCamKenny's trying to make sure that nobody's going to try anything sneaky here and try to secure this Fire Giant, or at least help his team not lose it. Get the space on it.
KillCamKenny is thanking his lucky stars he has as much presence as he does, because otherwise Toaster Strudels would have just walked up to that Fire Giant. A little bit low on the health bars, not quite able to make it happen just yet, but man, MiniDelvin coming up the goat in that fight, going all the way behind the entirety of Honey Buns and our camera, and just taking off 3 people by himself. He doesn't care. He wants this win, and you can see he's making it happen. This guy's coming up huge.
And he's starting to take advantage of some wards, but it looks like he's going to have a lot of work ahead of him, as Toaster Strudels has warded the entire area, and we only got a sentry ward sitting there for Honey Buns. This is a battle of wards, and Toaster Strudels is showing that they're not going to be outdone. But it seems like Honey Buns has got their own wards out. Here he comes. Delvin's just starting to face tank damage, coming in with the ult, but spinning around, knockups, gets caught out, losing a lot of health, trying to reflect as much as he can. Bombs coming out, big damage. Rushology gets the confirmed kill. ZTantalus trying to hop onto Physics. Physics going through the Cosmos, but goes into the back line to try to find a kill. Unfortunately, Huntor manages to have his stun and his team to save him. Honey Buns now 3 into 5. Looney getting caught into a stun, into a path of flames. Rushology getting a nice pillar hit onto him, spear hit, and the bombs to try to secure it. Couldn't, but there's the bomb securing FuegoMyEggo. And now KillCamKenny's got to exert his presence again, and he might just have the opportunity. Unfortunately, his ult is not up. This Fire Giant isn't looking like it's going down too quickly, but quickly enough to start threatening him. KillCamKenny's just taking too much damage from Huntor, and now risk versus reward, but I don't think it really can get anything here. Delvin with the reflect. KillCamKenny will kill himself if he tries to do anything. Now he's just pushed out. This EFG at 36 is going to go to the way of Toaster Strudels.
Once MiniDelvin comes into that fight, Kenny can't really do too much after that. It was a great effort. He does so much damage, but man, the tanks, a little too much presence. I was a little bit scared because Toaster Strudels came out of that fight. Amazing fight back. Once Lucent came in, they were able to really flex their presence. And Huntor, through the whole thing, dueling dueling one, then another, making himself known and just dashing right into danger, especially against LuneyToons right at the end there. Once the fight starts, if Honeybuns aren't making the kills happen, as we've seen again and again and again, Toaster Strudels are just doing more over time. KillCamKenny, he's the big player on Honeybuns. He's the one that's able to make that difference in the fights. But the problem is that the rest of the team around him just isn't able to find the way in, and so the Thoth is kind of just sitting in the back line, and we're trying to put out as much damage as he can, but it's not a one-man army. The Thoth
now we see PhysicsDZN coming in with this big through the Cosmic to try to save his teammates. Agni Bomb's coming out, and we got poking out LuneyToons, and that's a big part to try to defend this tier 2 tower. Oni minions coming through, but they're not there yet. Doesn't matter, this EFG's gonna make quick use of this tier 2. Now you got 5 stacked, a little bit of a scab on his knee and their knee, excuse me. So many gods here. A scab on the knee of Lucian, and we see all the damage coming out from KillCamKenny. Hieroglyphic Assault trying to get as much damage. They're trying to dive into Huntor. Huntor is trying to run and create as much space as they can. PhysicsDZN trying to get out, but gets caught by Desert Fury. Falls down to Rushology, and now both teams are scattered out. Delvin looking really weak. It's caught by a Dark Portal. FuegoMyEggo falls down to Rushology. And King of Darkness is now low too. LuneyToons trying to get out, but they're stuck between 4, and it's just all over. KillCamKenny returning the kill on Huntor, but it's EFG, and this Phoenix is not looking too healthy. Rushology sacrificing his life. KillCamKenny's trying his best. ZTantalus can't find the autos, but KillCamKenny can't find the damage. The root comes out, and ZTantalus just can't get away. Rooting sprint stops him. Lucian trying their best to try to get out of this situation, dashing which way and one way, but there's too much CC between pursuit and the walls. All they can, the dash comes out to the minions, and Lucian, they managed to make the space. The dash and punish, evade and punish, shotgun ultimate hits, and KillCamKenny manages to kill LUCENTCOLORS. Lucian, they just couldn't seem to find themselves to get away. It was just too much pursuit from KillCamKenny, and between King of Darkness and the root, the pursuit and punish, or evade and punish, it was over for Lucian.
Maybe it's not a one-man army, but it sure is a two-man. Man, KillCamKenny and King of Darkness just making it happen. The carries go down, and all of a sudden, Toaster Strudels no longer have a push. What looked like could have been a really great end call turned out to be a deicide for Honeybuns, only for a couple of seconds, of course. 3 back up for Toaster Strudels, but man, Kenny just does the damage. The Thoth has to die if you're Toaster Strudels. The kills are evened up. Once these guys are pumping it out, if Hunter's not around to do the damage like he's been able this whole time, he's a huge part of the staying power of Toaster Strudels. Kenny can deal the damage from all the way in the back, and the final judgment comes out like half a lane down. You can't just have the fight without diving them. And although it looked pretty great with MiniDelvin handling Kenny and Looney while Honeybuns were scattered on the front, the way it turned out, Kenny was able to find that in on the carries, get the damage off, and alone, ZTantalus just doesn't have the damage to take down the mage.
And that would seem like a 2-pronged long-term attack, because Physics went in early to get that damage off on Huntor and try to push him back, which allowed for them to get the return damage on such a weak opponent. Through the Cosmos coming in to see if they can find a kill, and it knocks up Lucian, trying to go in for the damage that they can. ZTantalus is now causing a lot of problems. FuegoMyEggo finds Huntor. Big damage that was just stopped. We got Delvin coming out with the knockups, Rushology taking advantage and killing Physics. King of Darkness trying to get out while they can. FuegoMyEggo jumps back in. Up down from Rushology doesn't matter. FuegoMyEggo gets the kill, but they got no escape now. Kickflip to try to create distance, but doesn't matter. LuneyToons coming in to try to clean up with the damage. Delvin looking weak, can't seem to find it, but he does! Unfortunately, LuneyToons gets the confirmed damage by some miracle of God. And now we're looking at a T2 or a possible left Phoenix. But the Honeybuns are just so low at this point. I don't know what they think they can get, but they got a lot of time and a minion wave. I think this middle Phoenix is going to fall if Lucian can't seem to find a stun, which they can! LuneyToons managed to pull out a big age of saving themselves, and KillCamKenny falls, or kills LUCENTCOLORS. And LuneyToons, he finds a way to just do the damage and keep himself alive to take down this Phoenix. It's only a couple seconds left on some of these big damage players coming from the Toaster Strudels. And this Titan, despite being attacked by fire minions throughout that, manages to find some way to stay alive while its team creates some space for it.
I'm getting nervous for Toaster Strudels. The Agni and the Huntor are going down, and when that happens, it just doesn't feel like they have the damage. Honey Buns, although before maybe not having a perfect way into this fight, it seems like they found it. And that way in is just letting KillCamKenny and LuneyToons walk up forward. These guys have so much damage to bear, and those characters just do so much. The burst from the final judgment is just one-shotting. It's gonna be it is huge to deal with. And if you can get some good value out of that, these abilities and from LuneyToons on that Izanami, it's just so much to deal with. Delvin can make a lot of space, but he can't keep all 5 members back. And so when Honey Buns surges forward, you know they want to make an advantage. And if they're going to hit their abilities, they're going to make the space happen no matter what.
Now we see both teams dancing around the Pyromancer instead of the Fire Giant. Glyph of Pain up to give Kenny the range that he needs for his Hieroglyphic Assault, but it's going to fall as both teams are now tiptoeing around, waiting for one person to step on whatever bear trap that the other team has set up. Blink in from ZTantalus to try to cause distance, but it looks like he's got caught out. Ultimate going to fall down. Flame Wave and Noxious Fumes are now off of Huntor, as Honey Buns now looking to be a little bit aggressive off what they may have gotten. Lucian dashes in, finds a stun, but no one can come out of it. Through the Cosmos, lands big ult, but there's no follow-up damage. Both teams trying to look to see what they can get. King of Darkness trying to push out who he can, but Rushology manages to get a kill. Desert Fury finds a kill, and then MiniDelvin gets a kill on King of Darkness. 5 strong on this Pyromancer, but they're gonna look like they think better of it and choose Fire Giant. I'm looking for KillCamKenny, but he's not alive. He's now stuck down, and there's no confirmed damage coming from a final judgment or to push them away. PhysicsDZN and FuegoMyEggo are looking to try to take advantage of whatever chaos there might be in the low health bars. FuegoMyEggo not going to be able to find any confirmation. This Fire Giant looking to run away. Hops away, but not looking good. 4 or 5 around, a slow from the Kappa. Not going to be a good time. Damage coming in left and right. Ultimates, knock-up, CC, and death from FuegoMyEggo. Lucian up in the sky. Their ultimate looking to count down on LuneyToons. LuneyToons baits and dodges just in time. This Phoenix is not looking like it's going to be too good with an EFG coming at it. PhysicsDZN looking in the sky through the Cosmos, see what they get, whatever he can get. Jumps down on Rushology, but the team comes to save him. Huntor comes in, gets the kill. ZTantalus kills his friend LuneyToons, and now this Titan is not gonna stand a chance. Health burning, and it falls. Toaster Strudels wins the game.
Drop my phone now, that's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't.
It's going to be a 2-game set after all. Toaster Strudels managed to lock it down in game number 2. Looked back and forth there for a while, Honey Buns with a great showing in game 2, but it's not enough. And ZTan, for you, where did that start? I mean, Honey Buns at one point had 3 people alive, nothing but them and a Titan between forcing it to game 3. What did they do wrong, or what did Toaster Strudels do right to really capitalize on that?
Well, you know, we did a great job of like kind of spacing and timing that out. And by the time they went up to take that middle Phoenix, you know, we had Agni coming up in 10 seconds. There was no way they could end there. And I think from there it was just 2 or 3 more fights that really kind of, and you know, at that point in the game, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, you know, one deicide, one big mistake, it ends it. And you know, I think that's really where it got away from them. It was both teams played a great set.
Can't argue with that. They certainly did. And even though Honey Buns ended up losing, take a look at the damage charts there. 68,000 for KillCamKenny on the Thoth, another 51 for the Izanami. Yet again, Honey Buns have the top player damage, even though they lose a set twice in a row now. And regardless of how you look at it, which team won, which team lost, kind of who did good, they won as a team and they lost as a team. It's something you don't see very often, that both these teams, not having a ton of experience with each other, not playing any games before because these are scouting grounds, came in and they both looked like a solid unit.
Absolutely. You know, playing in it myself, it was a fun set. You know, everybody got along, comms were great. You know, any of the captains looking to pick up some of these guys, like, they're great picks.
Can argue with that, and as much as you want to, you cannot pick up the 18-1 Red Tasker. That'll go down in SDL Legend. But before we take off, when you look back at that game, is there anything that other teams you think could take away from this? Whether it's a pick, whether it's a ban, whether it's a playstyle that kind of worked good? If you're a player, what are you looking at for the rest of Scouting Grounds to really kind of get yourself noticed, get yourself out there?
You know, with scouting grounds in particular, I've been a player for a long time, and I really think the big thing to be looking at as a player is to not get frustrated and to not lose yourself when things go badly, because sometimes these games are not balanced spectacularly. Sometimes things are not going to go your way. You're going to have to play from behind. You're going to have to play from some bad situations, and you need to show that you're able to do that.
Absolutely. Composure and calmness, some of the keys to success there. But that's going to about wrap it up here for us today. This has been the first game of the Season 3 Scouting Grounds. If you liked what you saw and you want to get in on it, signups are still open for a few more days, so head over to discord.gg/SDL. It's floating around here somewhere above me. Don't worry, there are links everywhere. So make sure you get in the Discord, get involved. Even if you don't want to play, come hang out. It's a great community. But that'll wrap it up for us here today. I've been KingFsher, joined with ZTan on the desk, newcasters Gearchief and Akamaru, and of course, joined once again by our ever-flawless cameraman iNooblet. Alright, thank you everybody for tuning in. That's going to do it here for us. We'll see you next time on Smite Draft League.
Tell me what you see in me. You know I can show you things you've never seen before. Baby, we should go out, take over the whole town, doing things your friends only talk about. Let's go on a late drive, switch seats at the stoplights, forget tomorrow, we only have tonight. You and I could get high in the backseat.